start man fighting at like
5
10 to
seconds
15 minutes, and by the time you're finished, it's 17 minutes and the game's over.
Game 2 underway now. Here we go. VGR 1-4. A win here. They're up to 2-4. They could finish as high as 10-4. And they have played two of the hardest teams in the group for me, Secret and Newbee.
Exactly.
So don't be surprised if this team makes a run on day 2. 2 more best of 2s await them. But for now, they got to take care of business against DC. DC already rotating out. We see Saksa dropping an early lane ward. And the teams will set up as the runes spawn in 1 minute.
Yeah, they're getting ready to go. I think right now you can see FY have smoked down to bottom, and he actually put up that ward. It's very good at covering the bottom rune spot, or at least close to it, and the entrance to the jungle. You can see Moo is the only one down here. Are we going to be wrong about the aggressive tri-lane? Are they actually going to run it? And if so, you know, are they could just go for a contention at top rune spot and then run down bottom. Otherwise, this might be a top aggressive tri-lane coming out for DC. I'd be kind of surprised, as we had already talked about it. But
looks like VGR want to dodge, though. So I guess they're anticipating this, playing it safe.
Maybe they vision already?
Drow bottom.
Oh, they just saw that there's nobody down bottom, probably, with the smoke coming out.
Yeah. So they're able to dodge.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's going to be, again, the Drow.
They don't have a save for the disruption arrows. The main issue, I guess, until they get swapped.
Exactly.
So they feel like all they need to do is get their levels, and going aggressive will allow them to do that. Tide versus this is not fun, but they'll transition into dual lanes, at least with DDC going for the initial creep block. Leaves the Void top. Void is quite resistant to this disruption arrow combo, unless you get
see him with this ward too.
A very long duration arrow, because you can always time walk off the damage.
They pinged him. They know that he's there. Let's see if they buy TPs anytime soon. They might not for a bit.
Misery's going to take a beating from DDC.
Ugh, Ignite. Annoying. That's tough to deal with. Mikasa will be having a tough time again, like the Tide, like you talked about in the bottom lane. But Tide won't be able to get up to get a TP. So if they do want to switch lanes, he might just have to like get a courier to ferry it out, or have someone else bring another one. We'll see.
So off lane looks pretty good for VGR. Mid lane should go well for Duso once the Drow gets levels. This top lane is a double melee lane against the Luna tri-lane with the disruption arrow, so I expect VGR to struggle top, but I think they should be able to win 2 lanes once they get the levels on the Drow. So I like the lanes a bit better for VGR, but Misery and Saksa potentially move around later. No smoke picked up for now, though. And you can't. The issue is you can't really leave Luna alone. Luna will die against this duo, unless she gets a significant level in farm advantage.
She would die against both duos. If you left her alone bottom or top, she would have died regardless. That's the biggest problem here, which is kind of why I like the dual lanes. They can't rotate. They're pinned down, exactly like you said, to pretty much helping. At least one of these heroes is to help this Luna at least get some farm, and so they can't roam on mid. They can't roam on bottom. It's tough.
Misery leaping away from the Ogre, but they have forced out the salve here on Mikasa. As Moo gets pursued a bit. Let's see, his end skilled up Frost Arrows. Yeah, he takes the early point in it. So is looking for the potential kill and just general kiting that offers. Disruption. And not going to happen.
Weeha has to salve up mid lane as he takes a lot of damage. The physical damage from Medusa, again, early on it's usually like a wet noodle, but when you have that Drow Precision Aura, it's more than enough. Even with damage reduction from Breathe Fire.
Yeah, he's gone for the second point in Dragon's Blood early just to help deal with the right clicker ass. Good skill decision by Weehan. With the poor man's shield, he's doing well on this lane. 7-1 so far.
Misery's forced to roam alone, and that arrow is going to hit, but he gets the mana shield off just in time. That is very good for Noto. There's no mana left for Weeha to be able to breathe fire, and if that mana shield wasn't there, I mean, he didn't have much mana left, but he probably still might have died there.
Yeah, that could have been really ugly for him, but good use of the mana shield. See Mikasa to level 3 now. I just feel like DC aren't quite on the same page. Like, we saw that disruption top, but Misery was not ready with the arrow earlier. They go for the aggressive lane. Now they're moving the Mirana around, but they're trying to gank Adusa, who's very tanky. I would like to see Nono get a ward up the hill, or for the Ogre to scout for this Mirana, and that's what we see now from DDC. Looking for Misery. He does shoot the big creep. If you're constantly playing musical lanes, the nice thing about Mirana support is you can just get a free big creep every now and then and get some bonus experience.
It does cost a lot of mana, though. 100 in your mana pool is 314, so...
Yeah, no clarities for now.
No, and he might have to just deny himself or go back home. It looks like it's going to be the former. As Misery will buy out, he'll be able to... I think he might have wanted to stack there, or at least get another arrow off. He doesn't get the creep that he wants, unfortunately. Top lane, Disruption's going to come through. They're going to go with the Lucent Beam, but no follow-up. Resolution does not want to dive the tower, especially at level 3. And we're back to just farming at this point. Nobody really getting anything done here other than just CSing.
Yeah, Moo's doing pretty well bottom, though. That's something we haven't really mentioned. He's getting a ton of experience. They've not been able to zone him out. Already 2 points in Kraken Shell. He's constantly anchor smashing and harassing the bench. And as a dual lane, there's not much kill potential. There's decent harassment, but Moo getting very tanky.
Misery has rotated bottom, but I think was spotted by the Observer Ward, so anything that is going to be accomplished is now gone. However, there's a gank mid. It's a big smoke gank, and Weehaw is going to be... Actually, it's an Invis rune for Vengeful Spirit. Ignite comes out. They have Magic Missile ready to go. The Dragon Tail nicely done, but still in some trouble. They have no vision of the high ground. Finally, they will, and Weehaw is still getting chased down. They might have to dive the tower here. This is tough. This creeps under the tower now as the tower will start hitting FY, and actually Weehaw survives with level 2 Dragon's Blood. That's the main reason in doing so.
Yeah, very tanky. And elsewhere, FY being chased by Misery.
Needs to hit an arrow if they want the kill, but he won't go for it.
It's a very long range arrow he would have to connect on. He's going to fish for it. And he's not going to find it.
Mikasa with 3 poison stacks will take a fair bit of damage, could time walk it, doesn't decide to do so, instead he salves up. And we're back to actually 2 lanes going fairly well. DC's now got the advantage in terms of CS mid, but it's very close. It's just about the same. And then, of course, top lane Resolution is going to be up and in CS and compared to the Drow Ranger. The Drow Ranger is 10 CS behind, actually, that of the Luna.
Yeah, lane's overall looking pretty good, but for Drow it's often more about the levels, and once you get level 6, then things get much easier for the team, so... Still DC doing well here, they get the Dragon Idol.
They have no Chrono yet, but
Resolution is
probably
so screwed. I don't think they expected this movement.
No, that was a very good rotation. They rotate 4, they don't even need end. But it is First Blood. That's First Blood at 6 minutes, finally getting done. But yeah, that was a very good rotation.
This is one of those, hey, we don't want to lane here anymore anyway, because our Drow is struggling. Tide's closing on Ravage. Let's do a lane swap, but before we send the heroes top bottom, let's see if we can get a kill out of it. And indeed they do.
They didn't have the Shadow Demon. He had gone home to heal himself, or something along those lines, and so he wasn't there to protect or disrupt him. Not that it would have saved him, it would have been tough. The reason I think that was so interesting was because when you're pushing mid as an Elder Dragon form, you don't expect them to like rotate elsewhere. I think you would expect them to come mid and try to defend and stop the push instead of going top, but maybe it's not that shocking. They're going to head top, and Resolution will try to go for a smoke of their own. It looks like they're going to go for no Eclipse yet, but still, it looks like VCR know that something's up. They had that ward on the high ground, that vision, of course, towards that tower, and so they know that this smoke is probably coming.
Wrapping around FY, lurking in the trees. Saksa trying to get eyes on him.
They see end right now. That's all they see. They also see.
But they know there's someone here behind him, and indeed it is FY. Lobs out the wave of terror.
He's gonna get arrowed, FY, but they're kind of far.
They can kill him with a Lucent Beam. They're gonna have to dive this.
Nice Claves. He's gonna maybe die to the 2 Shadow Poison. No.
Oh, Misery.
This is still tough. Misery has no leap, and it looks like it'll fall. Yeah, the right clicks are too strong, so it ends up being a trade when it probably shouldn't have been. That was a rough dive. Resolution actually being a little overzealous as he might get ignited, and the right click from end is very potent as he's level 6 now. Boom.
Yeah, with Eclipse coming online, they already have Ravage. Expect DC to try and take a fight with those. Look for a pick-off. Dragon form is up again. And if they're able to find a kill, possibly even bringing the Dragonite to side lane, they can transition that into a tower. VGR are pretty weak as far as deep push goes. They only have Mystic Stake, so although they're running the Drow strat and can push well in their own right, they are not very good at stopping a push from DC, and That's something they'll have to be careful about is the DC group up.
Especially with a Tyler behind them. They do not want to engage in something like that. Elder Dragon Form will go again. Weeha's running low on mana. He has a haste rune that he doesn't really want to pop. He's going to just maybe wait for the infused raindrop to help him with his regen and go from there. A lot of heroes rotating mid right now, and he is going to use that haste rune. He does need to bottle up now. And see,
wrapping around with Tidehunter.
They're coming in. Ravage? No, not there. He's got the magic missile. Ravage will go. It hits onto 2. Can they find anything more? Dragon Tail into no-no, but there's the Chronosphere now. Lucid Beam comes out, the Eclipse as well. Resolution finding one, might find more as well. Mikasa will fall, and DDC getting chased down.
I'm looking for the Ogre. They grab that kill too. FY now into the trees and scouted out by the poison. They're looking to corner him, but he tankos his way through. Stills the raindrops. Able to escape. But they can now converge on this tower and look for a tier 1.
That's an amazing fight, and finally, that's exactly what they needed Moo to do last game, but he just couldn't do it because the hero, whatever, I mean, the composition of their lineup, whatever, it just didn't work out, and that's a great fight coming out for DC. That gives them so much gold. You can see the net worth graph just jump up to 2,000 right now because they get 3 kills and a tier 1 tower. Well, top lane Moo might be in trouble as the Frost Arrows will go.
It's only a level 1 Frost Arrow, but maybe they can kill him with that stun. Fairy Fire.
Wow.
They got him.
Yeah. I think he was trying to fog behind that tree there, but of course that's not going to work. There's a ward, unfortunately. I think he pinged it out too. He's like, there's a ward there. I should have been fogged, but no.
Radiant structures are fortified.
So with Chrono on cooldown, Tidehunter Ravage on cooldown, and Eclipse unavailable, probably a lull in the action here. We'll see both teams farming up. It's a good time to look at item progression. Tidehunter mech is nearly complete. Once they siege the tower, they will get the last hit. Now grabbing it, but also they're looking for Drow, probably the Dragon Lance being picked up, just a casual Morbid Mask for now.
Yeah, she has the 2 bandit.
Curious what Mikasa goes for. He's quite poor on the Void,
yeah.
but...
Is this all he has? Is the treads and Quelling Blade and Torment Shield?
He's got to have something on the card.
Oh, yeah, he has the headdress.
Vlad's coming.
Very, very, very common for off-lane Voids, and we'll see how much he can get done with it. He's trying to go tail-to-tail with Resolution, but Eclipse is coming back up in 30 seconds. You could argue that Chrono's also up in 15. Maybe they want to get something done. We'll see if DC move together as a squad to try to find something. The tier 1 tower now gone. Bottom lane could be a good lane to push in or top, and we'll wait and see. It's going to be a farming type of game, and because I feel like because of that fight and N going down, I think, I'm not sure, did he die there? No, he didn't, but with the rest of the team going down, this Drow push strat has been slowed down. It's 10 minutes already, and they haven't taken anything. No towers except for the top tier 1. They find anything bottom with the Smoke of Deceit gank.
Yeah, VGR smoking up behind the Void, looking for a Chrono. They're going to be walking into a potential Ravage, and currently under tower. They have to chain stun Luna. If she gets off Eclipse and the Ravage is there and she doesn't die right away, it will be a very ugly fight, and both teams now converging on the lane.
Misery scouted out the smoke, and so Resolution, he's fine for now. And actually, they just push back for a second. VCR will go back in, looking for Weehaw. Swap, is it there? No, not level 6 yet. He's actually only level 5.
Very close to it.
Yeah. That's surprising.
Both teams pretty confident in their team fight. We're going to see 10 heroes bottom.
There's a fight coming soon.
Well, no tide yet, but Moo is likely to join this one.
He's going to TP at some point. I don't think he wants that tower. He does get it. I think he wants the tower and the fight.
He's got mech now.
Look at No. He just gets Dragon Tailed out of nowhere. The TPs is coming through. They've got Ravage. The Gush will come out, and Vici need to leave.
Good arrow. Nicely dodged.
It's a good Stone Gaze. Everyone has to turn around now. That might cover the retreat of VGR. Now the Stone Gaze is done. On cooldown, the Lucid Beam will hit onto DDC, and Moo, he doesn't have Blink. He went for the mech instead. Or, yeah, the mech, and the Blink Dagger is up for Weehaw. That might be enough. And he finds Mikasa with it.
Can they save him? They don't have the swap yet. He's still 6 XP away, also not in range anyway. That quick Blink Dagger grab, and Weehaw just catching him off guard with it. The Observer Ward off in the jungle, so it didn't actually scout it being picked up. Nice decisive movement by DC, and now they're starting to death ball.
Oh, this TP coming in. They've got the disruption mid with the Soul Catcher on No.
No mana for the ultimate for Saksa, but do they even need it?
Oh, he's got no mana left. The arrow, the Dragon Tail, the Breathe Fire. They don't care about that tier 1 tower bottom. They're going to back up now. The swap out onto Moo into the bottom lane. It looks like Moo going to get gusted up. The Frost Arrows hitting him hard. There's the Fire Blast, no magic missile, but he is done. With all of that right click going, they finally will bring the Watermelon down. He's very tanky, but still, Vici, they're able to get the kill secured.
Yeah, Vici are still hell-bent on fighting in this bottom lane. The Ravage is going to be available, and he's up in 20 seconds. This Weehaw nearly caught out there, blinking away at the last moment. Still Mikasa on the chase. He's going to deploy the Chrono, and they look for the pickoff.
Wave of Terror is going to give them some nice damage or armor reduction, and then of course the Drow Ranger just lays in, and Weehaw will fall. That's probably the most important kill VGR have gotten this game, and it's going to allow them to take the tier 1 tower bottom lane, which is huge. It starts
Will
to
it
push
though?
off.
Tide has mech, Tide has Ravage, Tower is full HP, and there's Glyph. I think they're going to fight this.
He's going to gush. He can Ravage. He's getting ready for it. Do they have Gust? They don't. He doesn't have mana for it, but FY might be the one that's left out to dry.
Now he has mana for Gust. But FY is dying regardless.
Yeah, that's going to be that. And there's another hero that...
Misery sneaking around.
Yeah, Misery was coming in from the backside. I thought for a moment there he was going to find someone, but no.
Time is money.
Radiant's middle
Yeah, this
tower
is the.
is
I like the way
under
DC are playing around the Medusa pick. Medusa is not really that effective at this stage. She has good damage, but she's just very immobile and doesn't want to be coming to fight. She wants to be farming. Moonlight Shadow again being used effectively here as they're going to set up on end.
Disruption, Soul Catcher, Lucid Beam, Arrow, easy kill. Resolution gets it, and Resolution went Dragonlance too. So very early game centric type of build for the Luna.
Yeah, this is a dream item for Luna. Very squishy, has bad range to begin with, and just wants stats to try and stay in the front lines. It's easy to build. You can get it quite early. And DC clearly just want to be 5-manning around the mech, the Tidehunter Ravage, the Dragon Idol, and along with that,
they're pushing into a 14-minute drought strategy. Now the Ravage comes out, hits only under 2. I thought it would hit on No-No, but no such luck. And FY will fall first, and No-No is getting chased down. They might dive the tower. I think not. They're going to back away.
DC forced to back. Just kidding. Weehaw says as he jumps back in, bumps No-No on the butt, and we'll find the kill. Now looking for more.
Oh, Arrow's going to come through and end. He's going to dodge it. DDC will not be so lucky.
This Dragon Knight Dagger, though.
Oh my god, End is getting crushed, and Resolution finds a double kill. The Starstorm doing a lot of damage as well, coming out from Misery, and 4 dead. And this is a 15-minute Drow strategy being crushed by DC. Where was this in game 1? Damn, this looks good.
DC much more of a 5-man draft. Last time they were running IO, they were running Morphling, so this is a complete swap in strategic outlook for the team, but VGR, even though they have a Drow, it's really more of a late game strat, really. Deuce is a hero that needs 2-3 items before she can do anything, and especially if you're going to go Lincolns. If you're going to go Lincolns, we almost always see the Manta. I'm not a huge fan of the build because I think it lacks damage. Even with Drow, it still feels a bit weak as far as the damage goes.
Yes.
You do have Venge, which compensates, but it's still 2 items at a bare minimum before you really look to fight. Void needs a lot of farm. Ogre wants levels, so he can max up Bloodlust, which is getting there, and you want the Vengeance Aura as well as the Wave of Terror to be maxed. So you're really looking at, 20 to 30 minutes before VGR truly want to fight. And DC are just playing around that. They went for early game centric items, the Dragon Lance, the aggressive lanes, the Blink Dagger on Weehaw, the mech on Mu, and they're just swarming all over this VGR defense.
I'm just so used to seeing this Drow Medusa strategy snowball that they do so well in the early game that he gets those items, but that's not been the case.
Did not really happen.
No, he is not snowballed whatsoever. In fact, he's about to die again.
But Scott, he will commit the Stone Gaze for this, but has no TP.
Actually going to get Demonic Purge as well. They still don't have Ravage, not that they need it. They have the Lucid Beam. Infused Raindrop saves him for a moment. The Demonic Purge is now done. Another Shadow Poison. Can they really not kill him? No, just kidding.
He had the stick charges, never popped them. I think he would have lived. Weehaw could have blinked for another stun, and I guess the team had just already made the call they're not coming, so VGR just decided to abandon their Dusa.
They had one hero, but I mean, Ogre, unfortunately, with Bloodlust, it was close, but it's just not enough to get him out of there in time. As the armlet is finished up for Weehaw, he blinks again. How many times have we seen him blink, stun, breathe fire, and then the kill is set up? But bottom lane, Resolution might get ganked here in this bottom lane. They are going to go for the Chronosphere. They get the silence off as well. The Moonlight Shadow detection. It looks like they don't have detection, and Resolution is actually going to get out alive. Oh my god.
And DC getting so much mileage out of all of these picks. The Disruption saving the day. We've seen the Shadow Poison securing kills, the Weehaw. Blink stun has been incredibly effective. The Moonlight Shadow, probably the MVP spell of this game, and 3 or 4 times now it's either set up a key gank or allowed them to live.
For sure. And the one against End when he was farming the Ancients, or the hard camp here towards the Ancients, is probably the most important one too. But End has now got his Dragonlance. He's got his Yasha as well. Not going to pick up the Hurricane Pike early. Doesn't go for the Helm of the Dominator. It looks like there will be DC sitting around mid. No dire vision, really, except for in lane. And they're going to try to go for another fight, potentially.
No, they're looking for Roche. With Chrono on cooldown, VGR cannot fight this.
No. I mean, they're so far behind now. No doesn't do any damage. He's a walking Stone Gaze at this point. Maybe Mystic Snake as well. End is the real damage dealer, and the rest of them kind of have to just help him out. But by the time, I mean, they clearly aren't contesting. You're right. They're not going to fight without Chrono Spear, with it being down for 57 seconds. He actually is going to be able to get Blink soon on Mikasa, and that might be a game-changing item. But for now, it is going to be Roche going the way of Digital Chaos. They have a net worth advantage of almost 7,500 at this point. The Luna continues to scale and farm very well. Has picked up a Yasha for the Mantis later on down the road. And they're not even stacking Ancients, really, which is, I mean, that's one thing you usually do as a Luna, but not being touched this time around.
It doesn't fit their strategy. Their strategy is just to 5-man and to abuse their superior team fight at this stage of the game before Dusa gets items and while Chrono is on cooldown. So whenever he has a creep, he may look to use it to stack if there's nothing else going on, but first and foremost is pressuring the enemy, which is exactly what DC are doing now. They're looking to break the base.
We blinks blindly, looking for that target, but no one's there, as everyone's still top split pushing. They're going to lose a tier 3 unless they get home now. Chrono Spear is back up just as he TP's in. They'll lose the tier 3 regardless. Weeha, Armor Toggle. Needs to be careful. Here we go. More TP's coming in. They're ready to fight now, I think.
This is when Luna gets super annoying with the glaives bouncing from building to building and then eventually to heroes.
No, the swap back might save him. No, he gets right-clicked down the last one, and then the net comes out as well. Moo has his Blink Dagger in the stash, but not on him still, though. I think they've gotten this Rax, especially with the Void Scout. He can buy back, but by the time he does, they'll at least lose the melee Rax here. That's it.
DC smashing their way through this VGR base. Probably feels good for some of the Drow haters out there to see her crushed so thoroughly, but
yeah, I mean,
this is not the polish on the Drow strat that we've seen from the likes of Wings or even OG.
There was another team that ran Drow and was unsuccessful in it. I think on day 1, I can't remember who it was off the top of my head. I believe it was a Chinese team. I think it might have been, not Wings.
Well, Wings lost 2 games with it versus TNC, but that was...
Oh yeah, that's right.
TNC had like hard counters to a Drow strat.
That's right. That's a good point. And then Wings is like one of the originators of that particular strategy, or at least over in that region anyway. They've done a very good job.
Well, they're the ones who turned it from a 4th or 5th pick into a 1st or 2nd pick. That's, I think, the big difference with Wings.
And it's not really doing much. I mean, End still has that late game potential. I mean, we've talked about Drow Rangers at late game scenarios. They're very good now, or at least better than they used to be.
DC commenced their siege of this tier 2. They're going to look for a second lane of Rax. Still holding the Aegis now. I don't know when VGR are going to... They can't really give up a second lane, but I'm not feeling too confident about their ability to defend it either, Mott.
I don't think they have the ability to defend it. I mean, again, it comes down to that Chrono Spear. Mikasa is like 100 away from a Blink Dagger, and that might be the most crucial item in the game for them at this point. And he does actually get it. I think he sold something to pick that Blink Dagger up. I'm not sure. It might have been a Quelling Blade, I believe. And now he has his Blink Chrono ready to go. They're going to smoke up. Are they going to wrap around? The Dragon Tail comes out first, though, and now they're going to blink in. He gets arrowed as he blinks in, swapped out, but now they're looking for the Ravage, the Starstorm. Everyone is so low to clips, and that's got to be it. Oh, Lord.
Instant GG.
You got that's
just destroyed. VGR. A hard-fought Game 1 win, and then a Game 2 thrashing. 4-2 now for DC. VGR dropping to 1-5. They are looking like an unlikely candidate to make it to the top of the group. They have to win a lot.
I would agree with you. They wanted to go for that Drow strategy. It